There's lots of great matchups in the NBA tonight. Let's look to take advantage of them and cash some bets. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Tuesday edition here of Winning Bets, where we've got free sports picks every single day. Let's go ahead and start off the show by recapping Monday. Monday started off with a bad beat. We took under 2.5 goals in that West Ham versus Sheffield United game, and there was a third goal scored, I kid you not, in literally the last kick of the ball. The last kick of the ball found the back of the net by West Ham, and they went on to win that game 3-0. That's just, it's just really unfortunate that we have to get burned there by a really, extremely bad beat there. It's like, you're hanging out in college with your drunk buddies, and one of them just wants to come up there and just, give you one of them little titty twisters, Just grab on and just give you one of them annoying. I mean, that's what it felt like. Just unreal. And hey, I'm one of those drunk college guys too, but never good to be on the receiving end of a titty twister, and it did not feel good yesterday, and that's how the night started. Carried on over in the NBA, Rockets Wizard under their point total. They made an agreement, the two teams, that they didn't want to play any defense in the first half. You can get whatever the hell shot you want in the first half. We're just going to come out and play defense in the second half. Because if we would have gotten how the second half played out that entire game, that bet would have cashed easily. But I think each quarter in the first half was over like 70-some points. I mean, it's just unreal, the lack of defense that was on display there in the first half. So we were watching that game live, and we put in a live bet on the Wizards money line. So got that one to cash, and that was the good thing. That was the only thing that was good on that night, because then we did a Heat Warriors parlay. The Heat were going up against the Clippers. They had no Kawhi Leonard. They had no Paul George, and they had no Patrick Beverley. And the Heat still lost that game. Just really unfortunate that the Heat can't pull out that win when the Clippers are without, arguably 3 of their 4 best players there. So, shocker there. Warriors, they whipped ass. The Cavaliers, they're just not a good basketball team. So, obviously not a good night. Down a little bit over 2 units, but loving the NBA slate. Lots of good action there I think we can take advantage of. There is some soccer going on today. I don't have a good read on these games. I've kind of gone back and forth, and I'm not in the business for forcing plays and just giving out plays for the sake of giving out plays. So I don't have any soccer plays at this current moment. I'm just back and forth in my head on which way they can go. I mean, you think both teams can score. Maybe over 2.5 is a good game in that Barcelona PSG, but, PSG held Barcelona to 0 goals a couple of years back. So can they easily do it again? I mean, I think PSG's got a good defensive line. And then the other game, Leipzig versus Liverpool. I want to take Leipzig plus a half, but the odds just didn't quite work out. I think Leipzig will at worst draw that game. I don't see Liverpool coming out with a win, but you never know. Liverpool turned up when they were in a funk. They turned up in the FA Cup game and gave Manchester United a good run for their money. Ended up losing that game, but they were punishing them, to the tune of like 2 or 3 goals in that game. So maybe that's what they need to get out of their current funk, is to jump into a Champions League, get into another tournament style play, and maybe they'll handle Leipzig. So just don't have a real good read on either one of these games. Don't feel comfortable on those 2 games. Gonna love to watch them. Gonna be glued to the TV watching those 2 games, but just don't feel comfortable giving out any bets and forcing any plays there. So going to go ahead and turn my attention to the NBA. Got several player props, got bets on money lines, got bets on, against the spread, and of course all the picks on a Fox Bet Super 6 day where we can win $25,000 over on that app. That's where all my picks come from. So little justification on the against the spread and money lines. I will give justification, though, on the player props. So with that being said, let's jump on into it. First one I'll look at here is Michael Porter Jr. over 14.5 points, and that's minus 110 over at DraftKings. Look, the Nuggets are going to go into this game. They don't have Dozier, they don't have Harris, they don't have Millsap, and they don't have Barton. They're all out due to injury-related issues. That's 39.2 points that they're going to have to make up in this game. Morris is also coming into the game questionable. He gets 10.9 points on the season. Michael Porter Jr. already averages 14.5 points on the season on 27 minutes. And with these recent injuries, we've seen an uptick in his minutes. He's had 30 and 31 minutes in the last 2 games. He went for 15 in one of those games. and so would have cashed this bet. The other game was against LeBron, where we know LeBron against opposing small forwards just absolutely shut you down. So no big surprise he didn't have a big game. But I like the uptick obviously in production with the barring with the slew of injuries. He's already averaging 14.5 points. They've given us 14.5 points in this prop. We think he can have a bigger night just due to the injuries and due to the fact that he should be able to have his way more times than not up against the Celtics defense when they're not using Jokic. So really like Michael Porter Jr. over 14.5 points in that game. Going to go ahead and stay with that game and going to go ahead and stay with Nikola Jokic, a player that we obviously know really well. We've rode him. I'm going to go ahead and ride 2 bets with him. I'm going to take over his point total of 24.5 points at minus 110 over at DraftKings. Then I'm also going to do over 34.5 points and rebounds at minus 120 over at PointsBet. Look, in terms of the rebounds aspects, the Celtics are one of the worst in the league allowing opposing centers to grab rebounds. I mean, they're in the bottom third all season long. Actually, they're in the bottom 5, in terms of rebounds to opposing centers. So I think he can get a lot of rebounds. In terms of his points, Celtics has 7 within 6 feet allowed, or within 6 feet allowed. They're allowing 61.4 percentage. So within 6 feet of the basket, Celtics allow 61% made field goal percentage. Within 10 feet of the basket, the Celtics allow 57.7% field goal percentage. Jokic, he makes 70.1% of his baskets in the restricted area, and then 54.5% of his baskets are made in terms of field goal percentage is made in the paint in the non-restricted area. So should just have an absolute big night. And then the Celtics center, Daniel Theis, he allows 61.4% field goal percentage within 6 feet of the basket. So just sets up for a really big night for Djokovic. We rode him when he should have a big night. He's generally come through for us more times than not. So really like him on these 2 prop bets. So we'll go ahead and ride him there. One of the other prop bets that we go ahead and like tonight is we're going to go ahead and look at the Suns and Knicks and DeAndre Ayton over 14.5 points, and that's minus 110 over a FanDuel. Look, last night, Hassan Whiteside had 26 points in 24 minutes, and then when he wasn't at the center position because he's the backup, it was Marvin Bagley, and he got 19 points in 21 minutes at the center position. So we know the Nets don't defend the center position well, and I was kind of curious what the Kings would be able to do last night because they don't really have a center in their starting lineup. Like I said, they use Marvin Bagley, and this guy had a big night. So the Nets allow 61% made field goal percentage over the last 2 weeks to centers, and it's up to 71% over the last 7 days to centers, and that ranks dead last in the NBA. So centers can have a big night. I really like DeAndre Ayton to go over 14.5 points. So it's just a perfect spot for him to have a really big night and really chip in as the Suns, compete in this game really well. So like DeAndre Ayton over 14.5 points. The next one we want is a player we know well. He cashed for us the other night. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. It's Vala Kukudic, the center there for the Grizzlies. He's got over 17.5 points, and that's minus 105 over at DraftKings. Since his return from injury, he's had 22-plus points in 4 of the 5 games. The Pelicans team defense within 6 feet of the basket, they allow 61.9% field goal percentage, which is second worst in the league. And the Pelicans team defense within 10 feet of the basket, they allow 54.8% field goal percentage made, which is 4th worst in the league. Steven Adams, the center there for the Pelicans, within 6 feet of the basket, he allows 63.4% field goal percentage made. That's 9th worst amongst centers in the NBA. Val Kukudic, he makes 64% field goal percentage in the restricted area and 57.1% field goal percentage inside the paint non-restricted area. So, and he got 23 against the Pelicans February 6th, I believe it was, and he came off the bench in that game because that was his first game coming back from injury, so they were working him back in. So coming off the bench, he had a monster night against this Pelicans defense. You can see it why I just spelled out all the reasons why he'll go over 17.5 points. So we like that player prop bet there. What is this guy's name? Valanciunas. Whatever it is. Let's just have a monster night, my guy. Have a monster night. We're going to go ahead and stay with this game because much like the Pelicans can't defend the center position, well, the Grizzlies can't defend the point guard and the power forward position. They're in the bottom, towards the bottom of the league, and defending both point guards and power forwards in the league. Memphis allows the most threes to point guards at 4.1 per game. Both Zion and Lonzo would have cashed on February 6th when they just recently played. Zion had 29 points and Lonzo Ball had 16. We're going to go ahead and take, obviously, their point totals overs. Zion has cashed in 4 of his last 5 games. Lonzo has cashed in 7 of his 8 last games, and the one game he missed, he had 12 points, which is what this number is at today. Lonzo averages 13.7 points per game, and Zion averages 24 points per game. We're going to go ahead and ride both of these players based on the Grizzlies' struggles against the power forwards and the point guards on the season. So it's Zion over 25.5 points, and that's minus 104 over at FanDuel. And it's Lonzo Ball over 12.5 points, and you can find that at minus 124 over at DraftKings. Love both of those guys to go over tonight. Last player prop for you we're going to look at here is Carmelo Anthony, and he's over 15.5 points, and that's minus 112 over at FanDuel. He's averaging 17 points in the month of February, and that's even weighted down by a 2 and a 6-point performance, and he's still averaging 17 points in the month of February. It's because he's taking more shots. He's becoming more involved in his offense, taking on a bigger role. He's now averaging 13 shots now per game. His over is hit in 5 of those 7 games in the month of February, and the one miss was at 15 points, which is exactly what this number is right here. So and then in the Thunder, you look at how they defend power forwards. They're in the bottom third in defending power forwards all season long. Doesn't matter if you look up the 30-day, the 2-week, or the 7-day total there. They're ranking the bottom third. They're allowing 50.8% field goal percentage to power forwards and 54.8% field goal percentage to power forwards in the last 7 games. Another great spot for Carmelo Anthony to continue his hot February that he's been having. And then 4 bets for you here against the spread and money line. No justification because it's all been justified on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. I like Nuggets plus 3.5, and you can find that at minus 110 over at PointsBet. I like the Grizzlies on the money line tonight at minus 104 over at FanDuel. I like the Timberwolves at plus 8, and that's minus 105 over at PointsBet. And I like the Nets at plus 4.5 points, and that's minus 105 over at PointsBet. That's how we'll do it today. So no soccer action for me today. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy those games. Really looking forward to this NBA action. Tons of player props for us to cash on. And then I like these against the spread money line bet. So go ahead and hit this like button. Let me know what you're going to be following. Drop a comment in there. I want to know what we're all cheering and rooting for together. Otherwise, guys, enjoy your Tuesday, and I hope to see you on tomorrow's show. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you again when we are celebrating the wins and making more winning bets. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more winning bets.